The problem with Elio is, well, that he really, really sucks. I was recently forced to watch Elio, and even though there were many headlines of it flopping, I came fairly positive thinking everyone is just mean and hates Disney for being woke. Well, you can't say I wasn't surprised, for the worst. For 99% of you who didn't and aren't going to watch the movie, and also aren't subscribed, so please do, Elio is a movie about a kid who lost his parents at a very young age. He gets adopted and raised by his aunt, who happens to be a soldier at the Space Force. Early on, he gets fascinated with space, so he starts a club gathering radio parts by stealing from other space enthusiasts, gets abducted to an alien spaceship, meets a bunch of aliens in an intergalactic haven called the Communiverse, and saves the day. The reason I think the movie is bad is not because of marketing or people being racist against bean-mouthed characters. It is that the movie is just very, very bad. The script is terrible, the characters look like ass, and Elio is probably my least favorite Disney character of all time. Allow me to elaborate. Evil! In order for a movie to work, we, as the audience, need to root for the main character. If we don't want the main character to win, the movie simply falls apart. Emotional scenes don't land because we don't care. There are no stakes anymore because if something bad happens to the characters, we don't feel bad for them. There is no tension to keep us on our toes. When Spider-Man's girlfriend dies, we are heartbroken because we love Peter Parker and we love Gwen Stacy. We don't think they deserve that, so we are mad, and so is Spider-Man. That creates an emotional connection between us and the hero. If some random person gets deleted, we don't care because we don't know them. The same is true for every movie. The film has to make us care. It can take 3 seasons or 10 minutes, but until that connection is established, whatever happens is meaningless to us. That doesn't mean the character has to be perfect by any means. On the contrary, flawed characters are much more relatable, and that's why we connect with them better. Take for example Galadriel from The Rings of Power. They created a strong, intelligent, smug, perfect girl boss. It isn't believable enough for us to connect with this character. We don't root for her because we kinda hate her. In Toy Story, Woody is a douche to Buzz, but we still root for him because we see him get thrown away by Andy after giving everything to make Andy happy. We feel like he is being mistreated, so his anger is justified. Elio is a total asshole start to finish, and I spent the whole movie wanting him to fail. In all of those touching scenes where there's slow motion and sad music, I wasn't sad, I was annoyed that this brat is winning. Let's start with his aunt. Throughout the whole movie, she does her absolute best for him. She takes him to camp, she buys him equipment, and gives him education. She does everything to give him the best life she can, and all he ever does is to be mean to her, ignore her, and almost gets her fired. The worst part? It's on purpose, and he isn't even sorry. Call it a pet peeve, but ungratefulness is probably my least favorite quality about a person. How can you look at this woman, stopping her life in its tracks for you, and just be an asshole 100% of the time? Some of you might say, he's just a kid, but that doesn't really matter. You know who else is a kid? Aang from Avatar. Yes, he makes mistakes. Yes, he's a deeply flawed character, but there are 2 huge differences. The first one is that he is actually trying to be better all the time, and he blames himself when he fails. Elio honestly doesn't give a damn about anyone else in this whole movie. He almost gets his aunt fired, he lies to his friends, actively taking advantage of them, almost gets like 200 aliens killed, and he doesn't feel bad for a second. The second difference is that Aang does everything for the sake of other people. He is truly selfless. Elio only cares about himself. He wants to go to space, and he wants to be part of the alien community, and he wants to stay there. Never for a second his motivation is not self-centered. Something that really grinds my gears in movies lately is the philosophy that a victim isn't accountable for anything. It's enough that a villain wasn't allowed to go to Disneyland that one time for a movie to absolve them of any wrongdoing. That's so unbelievably backwards, and I don't understand who buys this BS. Like, yes, I may have stolen, lied, and killed and betrayed my friends, but I had a rough childhood, so you must think I'm the good guy. Are you actually kidding me? If you are a bad, self-centered person, I honestly don't care if you're a kid. If Elio was a brat at the very beginning of the movie, but quickly changed his attitude, I would probably be fine with it. But he never changes, and everyone else around him never seems to care. He is forgiven because reasons. Hiccup had a rough childhood too. Everyone in his tribe, including his father, mocked him for being weak, not following the tribe's rules, and not wanting to kill dragons. Did he lie, cheat, and steal from his friends? Nope. He used his other skills to compensate for his lack of strength. He overcame the challenges, beat the odds, and changed the perspective of everyone around him. He earned their respect by being better, and that's why we wanted him to win. He took a bad hand that was dealt to him and turned the lemons into lemonade. That's something we are going to root for. That's a hero. Another reason this movie doesn't work is how problems are solved. After getting to the Communiverse, he lies that he's the leader of Earth in order to be accepted as an ambassador and be able to stay there, while ditching his aunt behind. Who cares? Then, an evil alien arrives and he volunteers to help resolve the issue, not because he wants to, but because that's the only way they'll accept him as an ambassador, putting all of their lives in danger for his own sake. Just so we're clear, evil alien arrives, threatening to kill everyone. Good aliens try to run away. Elio tells them to stay because he can handle it. What a hero. They give him a spaceship, and he goes to the evil aliens' HQ to negotiate peace. And he prepares by taking a 1-hour course about bargaining. I swear I am not making this shit up. He fails the negotiation, is thrown into prison, escapes easily, only to run into the son of the leader and convince him to become his bargaining chip to save the Communiverse. Which AI wrote this shit? Because I'm not willing to accept a human did. Holy crap. If there's something I hate more than little assholes getting away with being bad people, is the plot moving forward by sheer coincidence or luck. Why did they trust him? How did he get out of prison so easily? How did he run into the leader's son? Why did he agree to becoming his bargaining chip? This movie makes no sense at all and I'm losing my mind. Why not write something more believable? Something that would progress his character? Oh wait, he has none, because his only character is that he is a piece of shit. How can a giant conglomerate like Disney afford to spend tens of millions on marketing, but only afford a monkey to write the script? It just boggles my mind how lazy the writing is. There's just nothing redeemable about it. You know why people adore Attack on Titan? Because things line up. Yes, the story is extremely convoluted, but that is in order to create depth. The villains are smart, the heroes are smart too, and they plan things in a believable way where we, as the audience, aren't sure how things are going to pan out. Characters die, both good and bad, but most importantly, everything happens for a reason. Nothing ever happens out of sheer luck or stupid villains having only 2 functioning brain cells. The story always keeps you guessing because anyone might do something even you didn't think about. And it's so interesting when that happens. In most modern movies, Not you. The characters are dumber than a praying mantis staying for breakfast after sex, so we are expected to just take everything that happens at face value and not question anything, or else the plot collapses into itself. To keep things fresh and subvert expectations, instead of doing something smart, a character does the most unbelievably stupid thing possible, turning the plot into a joke.
Oh my god! Wow!
The animation is the animation. Just like there's a reason for a movie's success, there's a reason for a movie's failure. Elio is an uninspired story about an evil kid that is willing to sacrifice the lives of everyone around him in order to fulfill his egotistical desires. A common modern story that expects the audience to forgive any wrongdoings done by the character if they happen to be a victim of circumstance. A plot so mind-numbingly stupid where the only reason anything happens is sheer coincidence or luck, yet expects us to connect with the characters with awkward slow motions and last-second character progression. I really hope the recent changes in Disney's leadership take the company back to its roots, to passion, creativity, and inspiration. It feels like people enjoy taking jabs at Disney and say things like, "It will never be the same," but I want to keep the door open for Disney. As a kid, watching Disney movies with my family was one of our favorite pastimes, and that's something I can't and don't want to take away. I look at these times fondly, and though I'm very critical of the current product the company makes, I will always give them the benefit of the doubt. I will continue showing up, and if they rise again from the ashes of the current state they're in, I will gladly cheer for them. Thank you so much for watching the video, and thank you all for the amazing reception to my last video about K-pop Demon Hunters. The comments are so positive and heartwarming, truly a faith and humanity restored moment. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos, and I'll see you in the next one.